Greetings, Galactic Jedis, Patriots, Freedom Fighters. How are you all doing on this beautiful evening? Today is Monday, December 9th, 2024. We are officially on the positive timeline due to the fact that the White Hats are now coming into open power. Of course, before that, they were in power covertly, but it looks like things are going to be moving into the open now in order for us to hit what is known as critical mass. Now, before I get started with today's report, I want to welcome all the new people that are in the house. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for subscribing. And for those that don't know who I am or just recently discovered me, I am the author of those amazing books behind me, The Secret Government, Invisible Architects, and of course, Our Cosmic Origin, both which unveiled a lot of suppressed information and knowledge that has been held from the general public for a long, long time. With that in mind, I also wanted to thank the Galactic Jedis and all the subscribers for tuning in 3 times a week with me, for hanging out with me here, your friend Ishmael, your brother in the light. I want to give you guys deep gratitude for being a part of my life, for even wanting to hear what I have to say. Thank you so much for being here. And also, I wanted to thank everyone who has voted for me, who did vote for me regarding the book awards. I am getting a lot of votes thanks to you guys. That link I did put in the description in the last live. And it looks like things are going well. You know, I'm getting a lot of votes thanks to you guys. So I just wanted to extend deep gratitude for that. Now, for those that have not had a chance to vote, these are the book awards that are going to be presented at the Concious Live Expo this coming February in 2 months, which is the biggest spiritual event in the history of, not history, but I'm sorry, it's the biggest spiritual expo there is, okay? That and, of course, Contact in the Desert. So thank you so much for voting for me. Now, for those that have not had a chance to vote, I will provide the link in the description once again. For the book awards, my book, Our Cosmic Origin, is competing among other books. So if you guys could give me a vote, that would be greatly appreciated. I will go ahead and link the link in the description for you guys. Now, I do like to relate a day in reference, something that happened on this very day. So before I get started with the update. Now, today's update is good. It's about how the storm is really now upon us, okay? Something that the deep state has been trying to halt for a while, but to no avail, of course. So on this very day, the 9th, Lech Walesa, elected president of Poland, who had led Solidarity, Poland's first independent trade union, and had received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1983, won Poland's first direct presidential election by a landslide. Okay, so that's something that happened on this very day in the year 1990. So with that in mind, also as a quick reminder, guys, I am doing a holiday special where Our Cosmic Origin is only $100 for 4 classes, 4 consecutive weeks, where you guys are going to get a thorough explanation of the organization of cosmos, the cosmic structure, the different types of advanced civilizations, the different commanders, the entire cosmic and galactic history, and more. And also, Ascension Basics is only $150 just for the holidays. If you guys want to sign up, go to my website, ourcosmicorigin.com. And for those that have already taken those classes, I do have a new class, Ascension 2.0, which is going to be next level ascension. Now, that one's going to go deep, right? That one's going to go into quantum jumping and manipulating the time-space continuum, or learning how to do so. So that one's going to go deeper. Now, anything else? Any other announcements before I get started? No, I guess that is it. So I want to let you guys know that in terms of a book, this is the end game. This is the final script in the final chapter, as far as this, chess game that has been going on between the Alliance and the Deep State. Okay, so Mr. T's administration his return is a reinvigorating Operation Liberty Shield. Okay, I want you guys to know what Operation Liberty Shield is, because now it's going to be in full force. It is the classified initiative that's going to target deep state operatives and globalist elites in 2024. The operation, and it's already began, but it's going to, ripple into the open for the public in 2024. So this operation dismantled key nodes of Cabal's networks, leading to high-profile arrest and the seizure, of damning evidence. Okay, and that has a lot to do with the Diddy list and the island list. Okay, however, Mr. T, 2025 presidency aims to take this operation to the next level. Okay, and so unmarked aircraft, military task forces, and advanced surveillance technology are set to be deployed in a new wave of global raids. These operations will target financial hubs, secret compounds, and underground facilities where the elites have hidden their crimes. So the goal is to ensure that no one, no matter how powerful, escapes accountability. So in 2025, the White Hats call this the year of mass detention. Okay, with Gitmo's extension set to be completely by mid-2025, the facility will have the capacity to detain thousands of high-valued prisoners. Military tribunals will run around the clock, right, processing cases with efficiency and ensuring that justice is delivered swiftly. The secrecy surrounding these trials is crucial, as the stakes are higher than ever. The Cabal's allies, still at large, are desperate to sabotage these efforts, but Mr. T's administration is prepared for every contingency. So what is the ultimate goal, right? As we are now in this, as they call it, the calm before the storm, right? What is the ultimate goal? So it is a clean slate for humanity, a new beginning. That is the ultimate goal. So Mr. T's vision for Gitmo goes beyond just punishment. It's about liberation. The expanded facility is not just a prison, it's a symbol of humanity's fight to reclaim its freedom from the grip of the globalist elites. The mission to cleanse the world of corruption is ambitious, but it's one that Mr. T has shown he is willing to pursue relentlessly. So the global response to Mr. T's Gitmo expansion is divided. Okay, supporters hail it is a historic stand against evil, while detractors, many of whom have ties to the Cabal, attempt to discredit it as an authoritarian overreach. Okay, but the facts speak for themselves. The crimes of these elites are undeniable, and their detention is a necessary step towards a higher future. So as the expansion plans roll out, the world braces for what comes next. Mr. T's return to power in 2025, who is only the representative, right, of the West. Mr. Putin, the representative of the East with Xi Jinping. But let's just face it, and generally speaking, it is the White Hats coming into power in 2025. Okay, Mr. T is just the face of that. Okay, so the White Hats coming in power in 2025 marks a pivotal moment in the silent war for humanity's freedom. So with Gitmo as the epicenter of this battle, the coming months will reveal the full extent of the corruption that has plagued the world and the decisive actions being taken to eradicate it. This isn't just a political story. It is a global reckoning. And under Mr. T's leadership, 2025 will be the year that the elites finally face justice, something that they've been evading for very, very, very long. And to back this up, you guys know that the 17th letter of the alphabet originated with the original JFK Sr., not Junior, but JFK Sr., okay? He is known as, the 17th letter, right? Well, it is believed that John F. Kennedy and John F. Kennedy Jr., according to them, there will be a sea of endless tears of love and light, and that they will finally understand that all of this has been a main plan since the Kennedy era. Hence, trust the plan. And it has intertwined and classified sensitive intelligence information, or has intertwined with classified sensitive intelligence information around the world for decades, multiplying information for humanity's and, of course, the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Notice that even within the plan, even within the White Hat Network, they know that all of this is about the dawn of the age of Aquarius, okay? The ending of the old guard, the beginning of a new era. So in the world of politics and espionage, secrets are currency, and information is power. And that explains why everything's compartmentalized. Even within the own networks of the White Hats and the Alliance, everything has to be compartmentalized, okay? Because of the fact that it is a chess game. It is a chess game, okay? So when the gag orders are lifted, and they will be, all the declassified information is going to become a reality. The consequences are going to be far-reaching and explosive. These, declassified information is going to go deep into the repercussions of the declassifying FISA documents, shedding light on the web of deceit, manipulation, and subterfuge that has plagued the corridors of power for years. So the judges, the Olo military unit, in collaboration with the U.S. forces, seems to be orchestrating a narrative that promises to maintain civil order and avert social conflicts. At the center of this intricate web lies a profound transformation in the world of entertainment and politics. So let's delve into this gripping tale that combines politics, high profile figures, and the emergence of artificial intelligence, all while keeping the general public on the edge of their seats. Now, that is the one thing, guys, that I disagree with, is the fact that the White Hats are also working with artificial intelligence, okay? And then the connections with Elon and, what he's going to be doing. That is the only thing that I disagree with. It doesn't align with me. It doesn't resonate with me, okay? But let's face it. The White Hat community, or let's just call it the White Hat networks, they have been using artificial intelligence to get all the information on the cabal for the last 7-8 years, okay? They have been working with an advanced computing system known as the Alpha system, okay? So supposedly this is a benevolent, good AI. I still don't trust AI, but according to insiders, this is a benevolent AI that the White Hats have been using to, unearth all the information, all the dirt on the deep state, okay? So, according to the information report, Act 1 is that the T administration will be navigating through the labyrinth corridors. Now, let me rephrase that again. Act 1, okay? As we navigate through the labyrinth corridors of power and intrigue, one cannot help but wonder about the significance of places like Diego Garcia, Pine Gap, Guantanamo Bay, and even beneath Washington, D.C., right? There is a labyrinth, a network under the White House, all right? Where secrets lie buried beneath that area, okay? So rumors about that these locations house more than just government secrets. They allegedly hold prisoners of high stature, all right? So just alone in Gitmo, it is believed that right now it's being overflowing, okay? It is overflowing as they continue to conduct arrests worldwide, all right? This is a secret operation, guys. It's happening. The MSM, the NBC, the mass media will not report this, but Gitmo is getting overflowed, okay? And they are whispers in the shadows suggesting that these covert facilities will serve as the backdrop for the next act in this political drama. But what is the driving force behind this grand spectacle, most would ask? Well, the answer is simple, yet terrifying. It is a high-tension political climate, okay? Act 2 is that the Brandon administration, in the aftermath of the T era, the nation found itself in a state of political turbulence unlike any other. So the public, both polarized and anxious, watched as the tides of power shifted. But what comes next is a plot twist that even the most astute political pundits could have not foreseen. Could have not foreseen. So, one of the things that did happen this week, I don't know if you guys heard, but I believe it was Democrat Adam Schiff resigned. He resigned from the U.S. House effective immediately. Okay, so that is a good thing. It is believed that, that's according to, of course, the Epoch Times. But let's just face it. He was taking a Gitmo. He was taking a Gitmo. Okay. Another thing I wanted to share with you guys is that the T administration's return has. Oh, wait, 1 second. That's not it. Okay, here we go. So, Mr. T he has announced that he's most likely to pardon those involved in the January 6th event on his first day in office. This is all over the alternative media, guys, all right? The J6ers, okay? So apparently Mr. T is going to pardon those people that were involved and suggest some members of the January 6th House Committee, not the people, but those members of the House Committee should go to jail instead, okay? So that is something that is going to happen on January 6th. Now, another thing that happened was, or that was breaking news, is that Bashar al-Assad and his family are in Moscow, okay, Russia, and they have been granted asylum, okay? So this is coming from BRICS News, okay? For those that don't know what BRICS is, that is the new emerging Eastern economic bloc that is actually connected to the QFS, the quantum financial system. And that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, okay? That is what BRICS is. It is a new economic alliance. And then combined with the the GSERA and NESERA that is also operating with the West, it is going to merge as a new global financial system. Now, another thing that took place within the last few days is that there was a huge blackout in the Vatican due to the arrest of Pope Francis. So the head of the snake, for those that didn't know, and for those that have read The Secret Government, right? The popes and the secret societies behind the popes, the Black Pope, the Jesuit General, those that are the real, you could say, cabals. Those are the ones that have been running the show for the last 500 years. But recently, Pope Francis was arrested, okay? They had nearby roads that were blocked, and there was an exchange of shots between the military forces of the White Hats of the 17th letter of the alphabet and, of course, the Vatican Secret Service. So, this is a good news, guys, because the Vatican, I mean, a lot of the little stuff that has been going on to the little ones, let's just say a lot of the abuse that has been going on with the little ones, the core of all of that was actually at the Vatican, okay? So the fact that they arrested Pope Francis is actually huge, huge, huge news. Now, for those that are Roman Catholic, okay, it's nothing personal, okay? Nothing personal for those that are Roman Catholic. Just know that the hierarchy or the papacy that has been running this organization for almost a little over 1,700 years has been the core of all corruption, okay? All they were the reorganized Roman Empire under a new name, okay? Basically what happened when the Roman Empire fell, which was the cabal back then, let's just call it the deep state back then, approximately over 2,000 years ago, all they did is the ruling Caesars, all they did is take off their togas and put on religious robes and became the popes, right? It was just a reorganization of the deep state of Rome. That's all the Vatican has been. So the Catholic Church at its core has been a reptilian-run organization. I know I might have some Roman Catholics here that are following me. Please don't take this the wrong way. This is nothing against you. If you're a devout Roman Catholic, this has nothing against your faith, but it has everything to do against the people, the hierarchy, and the forces that were in control of that organization. So the arrest of Pope Francis is a huge win against the dark side. So with that in mind, there is one other thing that I wanted to share with you guys about I think it was the Epoch Times. No, I think that was, yeah, it was about I think I've already shared it, right? That Mr. T is going to be pardoning all the J6ers. So that's a good thing. I do want to give some shout outs. I see Radiant Guardians is in the house. Marcia Samuelson is in the house. Galactic Rose 117 is in the house. Leslie, let me get my glasses so I don't butcher your names. Andromeda Daisy is in the house. Mathis Chronicles is in the house. Sylvia Vidal is in the house. Who else is in the house? Let's see. Ice is in the house. Wolfman, Wolf Mother is in the house. Lee Archer is in the house. It's going so fast. Lori May is in the house. MJF is in the house. And everyone else, all 2,079 people. Welcome, welcome. So, basically, the storm is upon us, okay? It is just a matter of it coming out into the open public for the unawakened to finally realize and wake up from their hypnosis. So if you guys have any questions, please type them in capital letters so that way I could bypass the chat. Tony R says, hi Ish, thank you for these podcasts. They are very helpful. Question. In your cosmic origin class, do you interact on one-on-one with us and let us know what our cosmic origin is? Yes, that's one of the things that I do for you guys in my class is it's very intimate. It's just us and we are interacting. It's not like here, you guys are actually on a Zoom meeting with me when I'm teaching the class. So it's very interactive. I get to know you more. You get to ask me questions. And most definitely, I do tell you your origin, your star origin, but that's only for our cosmic origin class. So that class right now is only $100. That is a deal that I did last month, or I think a month ago. So I'm going to do it once again for the holiday season. All you guys have to do is go to my website to secure your spot, or cosmicorigin.com. Clarity comes from, thank you so much for the super chat. Clarity comes from contrast. That is so true. That is a powerful statement. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, Marcia is asking me if Nicera is going to happen. Yes. In fact, if it wasn't for the deep state doing what they did in 2020, right, when they cheated, Mr. T needed 2 terms to bring forth the Nicera Gacera prosperity programs. So now that he's going to come back, this is, he's going to just finish the job. He's going to drain the swamp and bring forth this new quantum financial system. It's already in process. It's already in progress. When will the real Trump come back? The one that is 6 feet 4 inches tall. That is a very good question. I am not sure. I am not sure when the real Trump's going to come back, but I will go ahead and find out. And perhaps next Monday, I will let you guys know because, as you guys know, that the Trump that we see in the media is actually the double, right? It is the double. The real Trump is protected in Cheyenne Mountains. I shouldn't even say that, but yeah, he is protected. The chat is going so fast. I'm just going to answer random questions. Hi, Ishmael. Which one's going to come first, the RV or the EBS? Well, that is very similar to the chicken and the egg. I would say they come at the same time. We're going to have the EBS. The EBS is going to allow the Y hats to initiate to the new quantum financial system. Absolutely. I keep a lot of these. You guys are very concerned about the Brunson case. You guys are very concerned about the med beds. Um, you know, it's all in progress. All we're waiting is for Mr. T to come back. Mr. T to come back. So let's just say around January. Somebody was asking me about the Anunnaki. So are the Anunnaki helping the military clean house? This is a question from MLE1111. The answer to that is the positive. Well, in terms of, let's just define what the term Anunnaki means. It means those that come from the heaven to the earth. So the good Anunnaki, which are now known as the Galactic Alliance, the good positive ETs, yes, they are helping the military. Absolutely. And they've been helping the military for quite some time. In fact, they were very instrumental in the development of what is known as the positive secret space programs. So yes, they are definitely working with the military. All right, somebody's asking me if I could finish the update from Valiant Thor. Well, here, let's see. Who is asking me this? This is Hadaria. Welcome, Hadaria. So it's very simple. Commander Valiant Thor is working 24/7 because he doesn't sleep. He doesn't require sleep like we humans do. He's from planet Venus. He's working 24/7 to make sure that the everything that the Whiteheads have been working for comes out in the right time. So it's just a matter of Mr. T coming back into office, and we're definitely going to be seeing a lot of interesting disclosures taking place. And yes, Commander Valiant Thor keeps telling us that we have to be ready for what is known as 10 days of darkness. And what that means is you have to have 10 days of food supply, or at least 2 weeks, they say, and of course, water. Now, they also want you guys to know that for those that don't know about what's happening, for those that are not going to prep, okay, the military will provide for you. Okay, so even if you can't stack food for 2 weeks or you can't have water for 2 weeks, don't worry about it. Okay, through the new satellite system, Starlink, they're going to be able to know exactly which house needs resources when the 10 days of darkness and the EBS goes through. So we really don't have anything to worry about. And another thing Commander Valiant Thor wants everyone to know is that we are prepping for first contact. Okay, so that's one of the prerequisites in working with the Whiteheads is you dismantle yourselves from all nuclear weapons, right? And you seize the war, or seize all war, you could say, which is something that Mr. T worked on in the last month, right? I talked about the Seas of Fire, something that he's been working on with, the guy from Russia, the guy from Ukraine, and the rest of Europe, and of course the Middle East. So as long as we eliminate our nuclear, weapons and our war mongering mentality, the next thing is first contact. So that's part of the, you could say, that's part of the contract that the Alliance has with the Galactic Alliance or the positive extraterrestrials, is that as soon as the dark side is exposed, the crimes against humanity, then they have to roll out the free energy technology, which is going to be connected to the quantum financial system. It's all going to be part of this quantum consciousness, guys. It's going to be a living organic consciousness. So all of the exotic tech, all of the replicators, all of the anti-gravity aircraft, space craft, all of that stuff is going to be coming to the public very, very soon. This blue bracelet that I wear is supposed to shield my biofield from the negative frequencies, like the Wi-Fi, the ELF waves, the ELM waves, and so on and so forth. So it's supposed to like protect my my aura. So yeah, it's very good to wear stuff like this. Very good to, get shungite, wearing crystals that actually protect your energy field from unwanted energy fields. Will Mr. T come back sooner than expected? Yeah, if the Brunson case becomes more publicly acknowledged, yes, absolutely. He might come back before the 20th of January. How close are the 10 days of darkness? According to Commander Valiant Thor, it could be any day now. It could be any day now. But this is coming from Valiant Thor. Nibiru is inhabited by whom, says Kathy Kurg. What is their part in this changes? Okay, well, Nibiru, which is where the planet where the Anunnaki hail from, is actually now piloted by the positive ETs. Okay, about 10 years ago, Nibiru was still under the control of Marduk, the Anunnaki son of Enki. But ever since Marduk abdicated from the throne of Nibiru and he had to step down because that's when the Galactic Alliance, decided to house cleanse all the negative ETs. This house cleansing of negative ETs began with the Nibiru approximately about 10 years ago. So it's corresponding exactly with the house cleansing taking place here by the White Hats as well. So ever since Marduk stepped down from planet Nibiru, Nibiru is now being piloted by the Galactic Alliance. So yeah, the people on Nibiru are very benevolent and they're very, very positive. They're here to help. And yes, it is believed that Nibiru is almost here. In fact, some people are capturing two suns, right? Well, the second one is Nibiru, so it's almost here. Ron Safford is asking me if Valiant Thor has a wife. Let's see. He's asking me, does Valiant Thor have a wife? This is Ron Safford. Does Valiant Thor have a wife, sons, or daughters? That is a good question. I am not sure, but I will find out for you. I will find out for you guys. But I've never been asked that question. I've never even asked if he was married. Honestly, I don't think so, because according to the Venusian Society, which is a type 2 advanced interstellar civilization, they don't have marriages there anymore. They have life partners, okay? They have twin rays. So I don't think he's married, but I do think he has a feminine counterpart. And I would say, yes, he probably has a dozen children. Who knows? But I will find out for you guys. Drusilla Morello, is that what it is? Is that what it is? Are my glasses malfunctioning here? Oh, hi, Athena. My doc just came up. Drusilla Morello says, Elena Denon says Enki is now the good guy. Well, again, Enki is known as the great trickster. He's the reason why we fell from a 12-strand DNA advanced super race into a primitive race. So I would say that you have to be careful with who you listen to, and that person, like I said before, she is compromised by Enki. So I wouldn't I wouldn't be listening to that person anymore if I were you, because she is definitely working with the dark side. In fact, I found out by the Galactic Alliance that that person, Elena, is actually working with the Octagon group. So she's part of the Octagon group, and she also works with BlackRock. She's actually being funded by BlackRock. So she does have ties with what is known as the Saturn black cult sun, you could say. Will we see JFK Jr., says Randy? I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. He's old, but we will. Where's Randy at? Yes, I'm sure we will, Randy. All right, this is a super chat from Annie. Annie Oakley. Thank you so much, sister. She says, will they get rid of the dog man and all of those other scary man-made creatures in the forests and state parks? Oh, so you mean, yes, all of those biogenetic experiments that have been going on in these deep underground bases? Absolutely. The chimeras, all of that stuff is going to be eliminated. Absolutely. Yes, they will be getting rid of all of that stuff, including the chupacabra. The chupacabra was also a secret government experiment. So all of those creatures are going to be hunted down. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they have already been hunted down, because they are not part of the programs. They're not part of the positive programs. This is a question from Janet. Let me go ahead and pin this. She says, this is a question from Janet Contorinis. Hopefully I said your last name right, Janet. She says, Ishmael, so if there will be anti-aircraft, you mean anti-gravity, and spaceships instead of the airlines and private airplanes, where would a pilot get such training? Well, believe it or not, within the private sector, the Galactic Alliance and the YHATs are already preparing and teaching humans how to pilot the spacecraft and the anti-gravity flying saucers, you could say. So it's already happening within the private sectors. But hey, when all of this comes to light in the public domain, maybe some of you are going to volunteer to learn how to pilot a spaceship. That'd be kind of cool, huh? You guys get to go to other worlds. Somebody says, Ishmael, please answer New York. Well, where is the New York question? I don't see a question from New York. There's Athena. Hi, Athena. What's going on? I just took you for a walk before my live. It's probably the reason why I was 2 minutes late. Now that I think about it, you owe the Galactic Jedi's an apology. She's all, it's okay. I understand. Anyways, okay. So let's continue here. What will happen after the 10 days of darkness? You know, I'm speculating that after the 10 days of darkness, we are all going to be, our lives, every single life on this planet, if you're a good person, is going to be upgraded. It's going to be transformed. It's going to be better. So I would say that life on Earth is going to be much better. Hence, the age of Aquarius, the beginning of the age of Aquarius. This is a super chat from What in the World is Going On? That's a pretty groovy name for a YouTube channel. Council of Nine channel said trade with China over Mr. T gone in 18 months. U.S. chaotic learns lessons trade soul for money and no G's and no GS. All right. Well, you have to be careful when you channel the Galactics. There is a Council of Nine. However, it was brought to my attention that there's also a counter or a pseudo counterfeit Council of Nine, which is pretty much a negative AI that is pretending to be the Council of Nine. So you have to have discernment when you channel galactic entities. Okay. Now, I didn't hear about the trade with China over Mr. T gone in 18 months. U.S. chaotic learns lessons traded soul for money. I didn't hear about that, but I'll look into it. Thank you, Devry Dixon. Thank you so much for the super chat. So after the solar flash, Nasera, Gesera, and wealth is disturbed or dispersed. How does the world run with the services industries, EX, um, fourth D, hotel, restaurants, parks, workers? Do we still work jobs we don't want? No, not at all. In the new earth, every single one of you guys is going to get an opportunity to do what you like to do best. To do what you would do if you had spare time, your hobbies, wherever your talents are, your gifts. That's how you're going to be contributing to the greater whole. So, working a job that does not meet your expectations is all coming to an end. Okay, so 50 reality is all about living in harmony and living your life's purpose. Again, so all of this stuff is part of the matrix. Working 9 to 5, that was all designed by the architects of this false illusionary reality, this construct that is now coming to an end. Yes, we're still going to have hotels. We're still going to have restaurants. We're still going to have parks. But again, the airlines are going to be more about, they're going to be spaceports for anti-gravity aircraft. That's the difference. Clarity comes from contrast as another super chat question. Thank you, Clarity. Comes from contrast. Ishmael, do you think that the first wave is still coming soon? How will the shift affect Mr. T, politics, and disclosure? Will the disclosure continue after the shift? I believe that the shift and the disclosure are all happening around the time of the ending of the cycle and the beginning of a new cycle, marking the emergence of a new era. So I believe it's going to happen simultaneously. Absolutely. This is a good question from, I'm trying to answer people that I've never picked before. So I'm trying to pick new people today, guys. This is a question from Jackson Sands. Welcome, Jackson Sands. Was Gobek Coop Tepley an old spaceport? Yes, it was. Absolutely. In fact, a lot of the spaceports that existed on our planet when there was advanced civilizations, they were all located around vortexes and around megalithic structures. So yes, definitely. Gotepli was definitely a spaceport for the Pleiadians that actually colonized the original Mayan civilization. This is a question from Ima Lamya. Ima Lamya, welcome. She says, "Are we still gonna leave the planet in context of the ascension?" No, we're not. Again, we're not going anywhere. See, the new Earth, which is Terra Earth 4D, 5D, 6D, is already coexisting with this Earth. It's just in a different frequency. So as our bodies become shifted into a new frequency, we're automatically going to be translated from one reality to the next within a twinkling of an eye. So that's how we're going to be shifting into the new Earth. We're not going to be leaving this Earth. It's okay. All of the realms, all of the Earth realities, 5th Earth, 8th Earth, all the way to the 12th Earth, which is where we're heading to, they all coexist around the same time in the same space, but they operate on different frequencies. Natalie Dixon, thank you so much for the super chat. Your thoughts on Jesus Christ? Was he married? Did he have children? Was he crucified, or both? Well, that's like four questions in one. You know, even within the galactic community, he is known as our eldest brother. He is the firstborn in heaven, creator son of the first universe. We live in the 12th creation, which is overseen by Michael, his brother. All right. So, yes, he is, in a way, he is the King of Kings, the King of all celestials, our eldest brother, the firstborn of the celestials from the central universe down. And so, in that regard, yes, Jesus Christ was the incarnating logos of the first universe. Was he married? Um, you know, due to my research and due to my personal downloads, there is a lot of evidence that indicate that he was, okay, because he was a Melchizedek. In order to receive the high priesthood of Melchizedek, you have to be wedded. And this is something that the Latter-day Saint Church, the Mormons, also adapted during these times. So by law, if you are given the Melchizedek priesthood, you have to be wedded. So, common sense would tell you that, yes, he was married to Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene was his feminine counterpart. But I also found out that he also had two other wives. He was also married to Mary Bethany and Martha. Okay, so he had three wives, but his main wife was Mary Magdalene. And the only reason he had to have three wives, again, was because he needed to spread his seed, right? Which is now what we call the descendants of the Holy Grail, the people that are part of the Holy Grail lineage. So that's why I believe he was married. Now, he did father children, okay? Some of you guys might find this a little controversial, but again, in time, all the truth will be revealed. Somebody says he was married and had 5 children. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. This is from Diana77. According to the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, some believe that she was the Messiah and she was the one who taught Jesus everything. But again, I believe that they were equals. I believe that they are, the twin ray concept is one oversoul split into two bodies. So I believe that, yes, in a way, Mary Magdalene represented the sacred divine feminine, Mother God, and Jesus Christ represented the sacred divine masculine Father God coming into union. In terms of metaphysics, they call this what's the word? Hieros Gamos. That's what they called the integration or the balance of the divine sacred, the divine feminine, and the divine masculine coming together as one, represented by Mary and Jesus. Absolutely. Is communion good or bad since it involves sacrificial blood? This is a good question. Okay, I'm just going to say it, all right? All of the rituals that have been conducted by the Roman Catholic Church, they are all designed to continue drinking the blood of Christ. So in their minds, symbolically speaking, they're still crucifying the Christ. So when people go to church, I'm sorry, if you're Roman Catholic, this is the truth. All right, all you got to do is read the books from. He was an ex-Jesuit priest. His name was, I think his name was, God, I forget. Alberto Rivera. All you got to do is read the books of Alberto Rivera, who was an ex-Jesuit priest. He exposed the Vatican for the truth. All right. The truth is that all of those rituals, the communion, eating, the wafer, drinking the wine, that is all symbolic of crucifying the Christ, of eating his flesh, which is not good. Okay. It's all satanic. I'm sorry to say that, but the Catholic Church's rituals were literally adopted from an ancient religion known as Saturnalia, which was practiced by the Roman Empire. Okay, so it's totally evil. Totally evil. Yes, that is correct. Mary Magdalene taught side by side with Jesus. This is Mary Samuels is saying that. In fact, one of the things that I did talk about 2 years ago, which struck a chord in this community, some people were very triggered, was the fact that Mary Magdalene also had 12 female apostles. Just like Jesus had the 12 male apostles, Mary Magdalene had 12 female apostles, and they were known as the Magdalenes. Okay, and this is all in the secret gospels. So, a lot of the books that were left out of the Bible were left out because of the fact that the patriarchy, which is reptilian mindset, the patriarchy took over the affairs of this planet. Hadari is asking, will some star seeds still get activated this month? I believe that they are. In fact, I don't know if some of you guys are feeling some symptoms, but I'm starting to feel electricity running through my body. So I don't know if that is a sign, but yes, I do believe that the activation of our dormant DNA is at hand. Absolutely. Yes, I know the Protestant churches practice communion too. The Anglican, the United Presbyterian. Well, again, guys, all of those rituals, which really pretty much derive from the Catholic Church, are just they are just dark rituals under a new name, you could say. It's all pagan, anyways. It's all related to the ancient pagan religions. How are we going to meet the critical mass? That is a very good question. This is a question from. Did I just lose her? All right, I lost. Let's see. This is one of the Galactic Jedi's answering the question, or asking the question. How we're going to reach critical mass is when Mr. T and the White Hats disclose all of the corruption, all of the shenanigans, everything that was once hidden is all coming out. This is the meaning of apocalypse. This is the book of Revelation. Revelation revealed. Oh, yes, I am Lanya. She says, no, Ima Lanya. She says, how are we going to meet the critical mass? Are you asking, like, how are we going to meet the critical mass? Well, when the disclosure takes place in 2025, all of those people that used to call us crazy, they're going to be all coming back to us, and they're going to be asking us questions, okay? Us, those that are awakened. So that's when you guys are all going to be mentors and teachers. Every single one of you guys is going to be, uh, you could say, instrumental in the what we call the mass awakening process. Edgar Garcia is asking me, was the latest assassination a ruse to place the victim under protective custody because he was going to oust the DOJ? That is a very good question. Um, some people are leaning towards that, but I believe that it was real. I believe that the CEO of the healthcare organization did get shot, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that he was going to. The truth of the matter is, I can't say it here, but I'm going to be very symbolic. He was going to be revealing the truth of that. That what happened back in 2019. Okay, so go figure. Go figure. Yes, Connie H is making a reference to the Order of Mary Magdalene. That's right. It was known as the Order of the Blue Rose. And what's interesting is that after a few hundred years, the Order of the Blue Rose reorganized as the Holy Order of the Grail under the protection of the what? Of the Knights Templars. Absolutely. See, somebody here has been doing their research. So the Knights Templars are all good. This is a question from Lee Starr. Yes, the Knights Templars were the good guys during the dark medieval ages. Absolutely. So can you explain what you meant by the patriarchy being a reptilian mindset? Well, it was when our planet fell under the dominance of the patriarchy, right? As a result of Marduk taking control of our world in Babylonian times. So all dictatorships, all empires, all totalitarian systems have all been controlled by the reptilians. Okay, let's just face it. The reptilians indirectly took over the affairs of our planet. So what they did is they eliminated and stamped out the veneration of the sacred divine feminine. So there was no more balance between father God and mother God. There was no more balance. So that was a corrupt patriarch. Yes. So that's what I meant to say, that the patriarchy that took over the affairs of this world and made women inferior to man, to the point where they even changed things in the Bible to make women inferior to man, was all controlled by the reptilians. Absolutely. What do you think will happen on the 21st of December according to the correct Mayan calendar? I guess we're all going to find out. But remember, guys, the world has never ended, right? So the world's not going to end. What's happening is that we're ending one era. It's called the Age of Pisces, and we are beginning a new era. So, if anything, things are going to be looking good for humanity. I feel sorry for the wicked, though. The wicked are the only ones that have everything to worry about, but not the good people. I do have a super chat from Devery Dixon. She says, how would you teach how to pray to children? Second, how to pray for everyday manifesting. Can you give an example? Well, it's a combination of using visualization, meditation, and breathing, of course, and also using feelings. It's feeling. When you pray, don't just ask, but feel what it is that you're praying for, and also let it come from your heart. Let it be heart based. And those, excuse me, those are the most effective prayers. I do have another super chat from a millionfold. Okay, thank you for that. And your question is, oh, you don't have a question. You're just thanking me for keeping us informed and full of hope. You are welcome. It is an honor to serve. You're welcome. This is true. Jesus was initiated in the Great Pyramid and learned from the mystic schools of Egypt. Well, he actually traveled everywhere. Not only did he learn from the ancient mystery schools of Heliopolis, Egypt, but he also went to India and he also went to Tibet. But remember, he was the chosen one. He was the Logos made flesh. He was the firstborn of heaven, coming into embodiment 2,000 years ago. Yes, that's true. Tony R is reminding us that the original Pope Francis did get arrested in 2020, as reported by the White Hats, and gold was removed from the Vatican. So this arrest was the clone. This arrest was the clone. See, now they're arresting the clones. Okay, these are all actors. So the clones are now being arrested. So yes, the original Pope was arrested back in 2020. Thank you for that reminder. What do you think of the Druids? This is from Cosmic Surf Pro. Welcome, Cosmic Surf Pro. I think the Druids were awesome. I think, in fact, they were the original House of David. You know, David claims David's lineage and Solomon's lineage they stem from the Druids. They were the original, you know, you could say the original Holy Grail kings, you could say. So yeah, I love the Druids. I'm trying to find a question I haven't answered yet. I see a lot of repetitive questions that I've answered over the last year, but I'm trying to find a question I haven't answered yet. Wolf Mother is asking, are the Mayans their own ET collective? Yes, because they come from the star system of Maya, which is the third star system encircling around Alcyone, the great central sun of the Pleiades. So yes, they are their own collective. Was Jesus a ninja? Lori C, thank you so much for the super chat. Well, you know, as in a scene, he was in a scene. He was very learned in the arts of martial techniques, or very highly advanced within martial arts. Um, Also, yoga, breathing techniques. He learned how to absolutely master his mind to the point where he was in absolute control of his bodily functions. All right. So, yes, you could say Jesus was very well versed when it came to the Jedi arts, martial arts, mind control over the body, you know, breathing techniques, everything. Absolutely. Be the Light says, you missed my super chat. It's way back at the beginning. Thank you. I apologize for that. I didn't see it. If you want to re ask your question, go ahead and I'll look out for it. Angelique Bartfield is asking, what about the Greek Orthodox Church? The Catholic Church left the Orthodox Church 1,000 years ago, but the Greek Orthodox Church is the true faith of the few testament of the life of Christ. From what I understand, I think it was the other way around. I think it was the Greek Orthodox Church that broke away from the eclectic power of the Roman Catholic Church. So it's just another organized religion. You know, it's just another organized religion. Ultimately, all the organized religions stem from the mother harlot of all being the Roman Catholic Church. They're all different branches of the beast. The truth of the matter is that when we read in the book Revelations, and they're talking about the mother harlot, the abomination of desolation, Babylon, they're talking about the Roman Catholic Church. So all of the extensions of the Roman Catholic Church, the Orthodox, the Calvinists, the Lutherans, the United Methodist Church, they're all part of the system of the beast. Okay, they're all part of the system of the beast. Hmm. Thank you for all the hearts. I see a lot of likes. Everyone's hitting the like, I think. All right. Thank you so much for that. You guys are awesome. And again, don't forget to vote for my book. My book is up for an award for the upcoming Conscious Live Expo. I will go ahead and put the link to make it easier for you guys to find it in the description. So go to my description after my live, click that link, scroll down, put your first name, last name, email, and pick our cosmic origin. I really want to win an award. I've never won an award in my life. Heather Z says, I voted and shared. Well, thank you, Heather. Thank you. Thank you. That was so kind of you. Megan Sebastian, I've never answered your question. I'm going to go ahead and pin it. I'm trying to find new people, guys. I'm trying to find people that I've never answered their questions. I mean, I have over 2,400 people on the chat. So this is a question from Megan Sebastian. Welcome. She says, Ishmael, I'm seeing a very bright star in the sky every single night. My stargazer says it's the planet Venus. Is this true orbit? Is this true orbits in the star? Yes, the answer to that is yes. Planet Venus is so bright that it is very visible to the naked eye. Absolutely. Thank you, Lori C, for the super chat. Was Jesus a ninja? I think I've already answered, right? He was a yogi. He was, he was a master. He was like a Jedi. That's the best way to say it, a Jedi. And this is a question from Gina Smith. Thank you so much, Gina Smith. She says, Hi, Ishmael. Thank you for all you do. I am Roman Catholic since I've been awakened. I can't go to church. I've been very conflicted. How do I move on from this? Well, I think you already have. I think the fact that you're here, you have evolved. You have evolved from being in a pocket organization, right, with limited rules, doctrines, and principles that you have to abide by, to discovering the Christ within. So I think you've come a long way. Just keep learning, sister. That's my advice to you, Gina. Don't take everything face value, question everything, and most importantly, establish your own relationship with God. That is key. All right. That is key right there. Establish your own relationship with God. Is it Ima Lanya? I can never pronounce your name. Let me see. She says, Thank you for answering all my questions. You are so welcome, sister. You are so welcome. Ima Lanya. Ima Lanya. You are so welcome. Hi, Ishmael. Did you hear about the drones flying around New Jersey? I actually did. This is a question from Annie Marie DeSico. I actually addressed that in the last live, but I'll address it again. They are not drones. That's what the mainstream media wants you to believe. They're actually scouting crafts from the Galactic Alliance. The Galactic Alliance, I did give a report as of the last, I think last week I gave a report, or was it two Saturdays ago, that they are now going to be conducting mass sightings worldwide, not just in the States, but everywhere. So what you're seeing in New Jersey are not drones. They are actually anti-gravity aircraft from the Galactic Alliance. This is a good question, and this is a question I've never answered. This is a new person. Oops, I just missed it. This is a good question coming from, oops. Monica Kanagowski is asking me, will the battle with the Guardian Alliance and positive ETs against the negative ETs ever be visible? That's a good question. Too many like shooting from their crafts back and forth and the skies in major cities. In the past that has happened, but due to the times that we're living in, I don't think we're going to be seeing, different factions airing or fighting each other in front of humanity. I think that's something that's taking place from behind the scenes. But in other times, in other eras, yes, that's something that has definitely taken place in the past. Absolutely. Now, I had another good question from a person that I've never answered their question. I just. All right. Francisco de Leon. I'm just going to start with this one. Francisco de Leon is asking me to explain the details between the Anuhasis versus the Anunnaki. Well, the Anuhasi, which was the Syrian-Lyrian alliance that took place 500 million years ago, was the original Anunnaki. Right? The Anunnaki became degraded, or we could say, what's the word I'm looking for? An impure version of the original Anuhasi, right? Due to the reptilian infiltration of it. But yeah, the Anuhasi was the original guardian race of the Anunnakis. Before the Anunnakis. What would happen to people in jail at Ascension? This is a question from Maria Castaneda. Welcome, Maria. If I believe that all the good people are going to go at least to the fourth the earth, even if they're not starseeds. So that's my answer to you. Let's see. Oh, this is the question I was looking for. This is from Mrs. Ottenberg. Welcome, Mrs. Ottenberg. She's asking me, can you speak on the earthquakes and tsunami warnings happening on the West Coast right now? Well, they're all part of the times that we're living in. It so happens that the Earth, as a living entity, is also undergoing ascension. So she is purging the collective dark density. That's what's happening. And that's why there's going to be more volcanic eruptions, more tsunamis, and more earthquakes as we approach the end of the year. Okay, this is the real 2012, but don't worry, it's not going to be like the movie, right, where it's mass extinction, right? The Galactic Alliance has put the Earth under a emergency rescue bubble. So all that happens is that the good people will translate to the new Earth, so we don't experience the pole shift and the mass, catastrophic events that we saw in the movie 2012. Okay, by the way, that movie 2012 was put out by Hollywood, and Hollywood is controlled by the cabal. All right, guys, it is time for me to eat. It is dinner time. I hope you guys enjoyed your time here with me, and I will see you guys in 2 nights for another update. May the God Force be with you all, and I will see you guys soon. And don't forget to vote for my book. I will put the link in the description for the book awards coming up in February. May the God Force be with you all. We'll talk to you later.